Hey everybody, welcome back. I just finished pre-oiling Joey's engine, and we're gonna get this guy fired up today. Got it in the stand, got a radiator on it, and just filled it up with oil. Transmission transfer case are attached, clutch is in there, flywheel, as you know, we resurfaced it. We've got ARP clutch bolts in there, and rebuilt carburetor, fuel pump, and there's the oil line. So I just got a few more things to do. We got to fill it up with water. I'm just going to run Joey's engine on water because I got to drain it to ship it. So no sense in wasting coolant. So this will be run just on water. And remember, when you guys are starting this, if you got your transmission transfer case attached, I've seen it before where guys forget to lube those. Make sure you lube it, because when the engine's spinning, your input shaft is spinning, and if you don't have lube in there, you'll ruin everything. So I've seen it before where guys ruin brand new transmissions. Just make sure you lube that. We're going to get some water in here. Get the timing light out and get some adjusting tools out, and we'll get the timing set, we'll get the carburetor adjusted, and we'll break this guy in. So I need a few minutes, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, we're full of water. We've got plenty of oil in there. If you were watching that F Head one I started recently, you know that I like to pressure lube these, then start off with 6 quarts of oil in there. There's a lot of little areas the oil gets has to fill in. You got to fill the whole oil galley. So a little bit extra doesn't hurt anything. And like I say, we're running this just on water because I have to drain it. We can't have that leaking out when I build a crate and ship it out to California. I'm going to break the cam in. This is a new cam. I have the distributor set. I have the carburetor close where we can run it up on high idle. The distributor should be right around 4 or 5 or 6 before top dead center. We're going to liven up the coil, and I'll get the Pertronics going, and then we'll cycle this. We'll bring it up to 2,000, we'll take it down again, bring it up to 2,000, take it down again. We're going to do that for a while. I'm going to do that for probably 30 minutes. I'm going to show you the startup. I'm not going to leave you just sitting here looking at the engine for 30 minutes, but I'll show you how I go about breaking it in. And Joey's been waiting a long time for this startup, so I hope he enjoys it. Here we go. Let's get things livened up. Okay guys, we got everything dialed in just nice on Joey's engine, and good oil pressure, temperature hanging right in there at 165, and everything dialed in just perfectly. So at this point we've had about 30 minutes of breaking in the cam, and then I took another couple startups and got the timing perfect 5 before. I got the carburetor adjusted to right around 775 RPM. It seems to like that. That's the sweet spot. And now I'm going to dump the oil, and I'm going to change the filter, and we'll put the 1540 in there like I like, and put another Wix filter in there. And then we got to pretty soon after that figure out how we're going to crate this. The crate that everything came in is way too small for the fully assembled unit right now, so I'll have to build off a pallet some sides and top and everything, but no problem. Alright Joey, if you're watching this, here's your generator that we rebuilt. It's a 12 volt unit. This guy back here is your field. There's your armature. There's your ground. Don't get those mixed up when you're hooking up your voltage regulator. So the one closest to the block, field, armature, and ground. Other than that, just liven up your positive on your coil. Right to your battery, if you want to run it in your chassis when you get it to your place. You may have to tweak it just a little bit when you get it in your chassis and get the air cleaner on and stuff. There'll be a different amount of air flowing through there. Your air fuel mixture will be a tiny bit off. You may have to tickle the idle, or you might have to go after the mixture just a tiny bit on the carburetor. But that's after you get your air cleaner in there. Right now you can put it in your chassis like it is, and start it and run it, and go through your, put it up on jack stands if you're gonna, or something, or run your front and rear axles, or however you want to do it. Come around this side. It's hard to see, everything's so black, but there's your throw out fork. You're just going to get your cable with the ball on it right there, hook it in there. It'll just slide right in there. A little bit of lubricant on that, and then take off with the rest of your clutch linkage. So everything is working good. Fuel pump is very happy with this fuel pump. It's not putting out too much pressure. Everything fell right into place on this one. And like I say, we're just going to get a pan, change the oil right now, and fire it up again. And once I'm happy with the second fire up, we can start thinking about shipping this back to Joey. Okay, Joey, this is what you can expect when you get your engine. We're just taking our blue lead to the positive of the battery. These are my startup cables, so you're going to have to get some cables on there. But I'm just going to hit the button, and it should start just as easily as this when you get it. Let me try and get out of the way of the camera. just sitting there idling. Camshaft is broken in, and it's ready to run. And that's just how you shut it down. So the engine at this point is ready to go, and I'm going to pull my gauge out of here. This is where your gauge is going to take off from. And let's go around the other side. I'm going to pull my oil gauge out of this back oil port on the engine, and this is where you'll take off for your gauge in your Jeep, right off of this port here. It's got 5 quarts of Shell Rotella 1540 in it. You can leave that in there until your first couple runs. Transmission and transfer case have my good lubricants in them. You won't need to worry about those for many years. This has been sitting overnight, and a little more than overnight, and I ran through the gears. There's no leaks, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Just leave the lube that's in there in the transmission transfer case, leave it in there. You will be changing the oil, I don't know, maybe after your first couple runs down the road. I used a Shell 1540 Rotella, but you can use whatever you like. I think that's the best oil for these old guys, but do what you have locally available. I like Wix filters. If you can source those locally, they're the best ones out there. Timing is 5 before. Carburetor is adjusted as good as I can get it adjusted without the rest of the air cleaner on. It's very, very, very close. Like I say, you may just have to tweak it just a little bit. Get your clutch linkage on there. I do have a Speedo cable on here for you. It's just coiled up. I'll safely put that in the crate because they tend to, you get a little seepage out of the hole there where the cable goes, and I don't want anything seeping during transport. So that's got a cable on it, and it's ready to go. I'm going to pull the water out of it and strip the radiator off it, and I'll plug the open holes, and then you just take off from your own radiator, sit it in the chassis. I do have a transmission transfer case mount that's going with this. They'll just be in there kind of loose. That way you could stick it right in your chassis, and it's ready to go. So it broke in perfectly. This is the engine, guys, that had the block relieved. There was a lot of comments on that. A lot of guys thought the engine would never run. You could tell this is a very aggressive engine, and it's going to go down the road very, very well. You can tell just by the way it responds to the throttle. That is a good way to save a block. And like I say, I got a lot of complaints on that. That I ruined this block and the engine was never going to run. But you'll feel it right in the seat of your pants when you're driving this thing. And it's a good way to save a block. And if you need an extra little bit of performance, it's a good way to get it. So that's basically the break-in of another engine. I want to put this engine startup out there for Joey, because he's way over in California, the other side of the country from me, and just wanted to show him because he's waited quite a long time for this engine. Parts coming in were very slow, but it's finally done, and I know you're going to be happy with it. So it's getting late today. It took me almost a whole day to get this thing dialed in and broken in and everything set up and the way I wanted it. So tomorrow I'll get everything stripped off of the startup frame, and I'll start building your crate, and we'll figure out where we're at, and I'll be in touch soon. So just another startup video for you guys. Hope you enjoy them. I do enjoy breaking in new engines. It's quite satisfying after the long rebuild to break one of these guys in. As you can see, let's go under here. There's not a drip of anything. I take my time trying to seal these guys up real good. I spent a lot of time getting the rear main seals right. Got that dialed in just perfect. So when you get the engine, Joey, enjoy it. And everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.